Love on the High Seas, a serialized gay romance taking place on the Caribbean cruise liner, the Majestic Star. Follow along with me as I take everyone on an epic adventure with love, murder, and mystery. Penned by Ryland Mason, narrated by me, Brian Shepard. Episode 3, Chance. I returned to my cabin after our morning passenger drill, but not before enjoying some breakfast in the main dining room. Justin and I talked about what we would like to do when we arrived at our first port. We were bound for Belize after we made our way through the canal, which I have never seen, so this is very exciting, unlike the last cruise I was on. I remember telling Justin no, that I did not want to go on another cruise, not after what happened aboard the Majestic Coral. I remember him pleading with me over the phone that I just had to go on this cruise and that it would be perfect to get away and have another distraction from work now that we had just released another expansion to Dragon's Wand. Once my boss mentioned that the storyline for the next expansion was being written already, that had me calling Justin back to ask him where and when I should meet him. I think I'm going to rather enjoy the cruise. After all, it seems to be going well so far. Now I get a personal tour by the captain himself. This is going to be interesting. Now that I was ready, I left my cabin. I was on my way to the main lobby, which you can get to in 2 different ways. But from where my cabin is, I would have to come down the stairs next to the waterfall feature, which I heard Anita talking about while at dinner, so I just had to see it. So, of course, walking down the stairs while looking at the water feature, not realizing that I'm being watched by the captain at the end of the stairs. "Good morning, Mr. Whitaker. I hope you slept well. Are we ready for a tour?" he asked me, which, of course, that wonderful smile that I noticed a lot last night. "Absolutely. I'd love to see more of this beautiful ship. So where do we start? And please, my friends call me Chance, so call me Chance." I made sure to get that out of the way. I only said it so I could hear him say my name in his accent. I know, bad, right? "Okay, Chance. We will start at the bridge and make our way to the engine room. If there are any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to ask," he said, as I now started to follow him in the direction of the bridge. Now, I've been on a bridge before, along with a dead crew. I'm hoping everything goes well, as that was pretty horrific to see. I have to remind myself that this is a different ship. Making it to the bridge, we walked through the door and everyone stood at attention. "Chance, I'd like for you to meet Staff Captain Andrews. He is pretty much me when I am off duty. Officer Andrews, this is one of our traveling guests, Mr. Chance Whitaker, who is taking a tour with me." He beamed, which Andrews must have noticed, because he was starting to grin. "Well, it's a pleasure, sir, and I hope our captain shows you all the cool stuff. Anything you need, please don't hesitate to ask," he said as he turned and made his way back to his station. At this point, I didn't know where to start. The bridge looked just like the corals. One thing stood out to me, as I must have missed it on the other ship. "Captain, what is this? Oh, there's something in there," I asked as I peeked at what seemed like an old diver's helmet. "Ah, that would be the binnacle," he answered. And that was it. "What does it do exactly?" I asked, hoping he would finish telling me. "A binnacle is a waist-high case or stand on the deck of a ship, generally mounted in front of the helmsman, in which navigational instruments are placed for easy and quick reference, as well as to protect the delicate instruments. I restored this one myself. as the wood bottom was giving out, so I redid the wood and stained, while taking all the chrome off I replaced with gold. Anyways, traditional purpose was to hold the ship's magnetic compass, mounted in gimbals to keep it level while the ship pitched and rolled. A binnacle may be subdivided into sections, and its contents typically include one or more compasses, like this one, and either an oil lamp or other light source. Sorry. That's okay. I just noticed the woodwork and how shiny it is. It caught my eye. A beautiful piece. Thank you, he responded, and then began telling me about every button and switch. It was fascinating to listen to him explain everything in detail and be able to keep up with my questions. You could tell that he was very passionate about this ship. His ship. Then we came around to the back wall where the cutout of the ship was with those lights. I remember what those meant. So I kind of walked by. No need to be reminded of when Eric was trapped behind one of those doors and it turning red. So after the bridge, we continued to the kitchen, pool, spa, Pirates Cove Casino, the laundry, which those ladies are amazing at folding fitted sheets. I will have to have them teach me. To then finally making it to the engine room. Most impressively overwhelming. Pipes leading everywhere and what sounded like pistons. Finally, the engine room. What we have here are 4 Babcock & Wilcox boilers, furnishing steam for main engines and auxiliaries. 2 500-kilowatt DC generators, one on each main engine, low-pressure side, and then we have 2 500-kilowatt standby generating sets. And also 2 General Electric double-reduction gear steam turbines, 6,000 ship RPMs. Yeah, I can do 6,600. That means that the propeller speeds are 95 to 98 RPM. So with that, we can travel 18.5 knots, which is roughly 21 miles per hour. Yet, when I needed to make up time, I've pushed her to about 20 knots, which is about 23 miles per hour. I'm sorry, was that too much? I tend to ramble, he said, looking worried. I smiled at the notion he was worried that I was not understanding. No, please, ramble away. Trust me, I'm keeping up, although it is quite loud in here. That and the crew seem busy. He nodded, and we went out. The last place we stopped was at the theater. The Stardust Theater is where you could watch live shows and listen to fantastic music. The theater itself looked like we had stepped back in time, as most, if not all, was original furnishings. Yet it all seemed to be in perfect condition. Let me guess. Wow, it's amazing in here. I'm seeing the 8 o'clock showing. It looks all original, I said, giving him a side glance. When they bought the ship, the theater was really the only thing that didn't need replacing. I just cleaned up the seats, stained the wood, and believe it or not, we had to get up on ladders and use vacuums to clean the stage curtain. Looking up, laughing, as if remembering the day. Backstage is where the magic happens. The dressing rooms only hold so many performers. It's why most of the shows there's only about 6, he said as we entered the room. He then went on to give me stories about different types of shows that were shown on this very stage, dating back to the 40s. On our way back to the main lobby, passengers were relaxing on deck chairs and watching the sea at the railing. It was a beautiful day. That's when we stopped at a door marked with an old placard, Radio Room. This is the old radio room. It housed the communications radio back in the day. With the new upgrades the old owner did, we don't really use this room except to maintain the main computer system, he said as he took his key card and unlocked the door. We both stepped inside. I also have been in a room like this, on the Coral. This room controls the ship, This computer system runs everything right down to the engines, I blurted out as I walked over to the desk. He just stood there with a confused look on his face. I will have to tell you that story at some point, I said, as I really didn't want to relive those memories. That's when he moved and flicked the light on, shining a light on a problem, a dead problem, which was lying on the floor in the corner. Oh my God, wait, is he? Covering my mouth. I didn't want to see a dead body. Not again. Joey knelt down beside him to check for a pulse. However, considering his lips were blue and he was staring off into space, I would surmise he was dead, I'm afraid. Come with me, he said as he picked up the phone on the wall. Bridge, this is the captain. Please send the security chief to the communications room on the double. Chance, I'm going to have you wait outside. He will have questions to ask. Looking at me with a worried face. Well, this is not good. I wonder who he is. As I looked around in disbelief, I could see the security chief as he made his way down the deck. Surprisingly, he was not moving very fast. Then again, I'm sure if passengers saw him running, it might cause people to wonder and worry something was going on. While Joey waited for the security chief to arrive, he made sure to check on me and ask if I needed anything. I just shook my head. I didn't need anything. I really do hope you're okay. That is not something you should see, let alone on a cruise ship. Eric told me your ordeal aboard the Coral. I'm so sorry you went through something like that. However, I can assure you, you are safe on this ship. I have a feeling this might have been an isolated incident. He assured me as he knelt down in front of me, as I sat against the wall. I'm fine, really. Thank you for asking. Justin, Eric, funny meeting you here, I said as they came walking down the deck. Well, it's not all the time you see the security chief with that look on his face like he's on a mission, and I know that look, Eric said as Justin started to talk to me. Are you all right? He asked, no doubt also thinking of what happened before. I think I always go back to it because it's just something that you should never have to see, ever. So in a way, it scared me. I'm glad I'm surrounded by people who went through the same thing and understand. Standing up, I had to move out of the way as the ship's medical crew came and, of course, removed the body. Eric was able to get a look beforehand, and of course, the look on his face was a dead giveaway. He knew the guy.